what's up, y'all? This is your boy, B. Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast in the building. I just want to personally say, before I get to my video, I want to shout out everybody for giving me all the birthday wishes during the weekend. You know, I'm very blessed to be 32 years old, still kicking, still rocking, you know what I mean? And still enjoying life, breathing, and everything else. So, I hope that the next chapter of my life, you know, it's going to be a memorable one. But I appreciate all the love and support. I appreciate it. Now, let's get into the video here, shall we? So, during the weekend, as I was, comfortably celebrating my birthday, I got some, notifications that Mr. Joel Embiid had an altercation with a columnist from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Now, I am not going to say his name off the bat because I don't have the article in front of me, so I don't want to, confuse nobody. So I'm just going to leave it as just reporter for now until I can get more information when I get back home from work. But what happened was that, the 76ers right now are struggling. They're 1-4 to start the year. There's a lot of frustration going on in the city of brotherly love. Now, this columnist or whatever wrote a column about Joel Embiid, and then he made some distasteful remarks about Joel Embiid's, late dead brother and his four-year-old kid. Now, I just wanted to personally say that that's way below the belt. All right? That's way below the belt. But I'm going to get into that in a second. So obviously, Joel Embiid obviously heard about it and confronted this reporter, as he should. And he made the reference to, hey, listen, you're not going to bring up my dead, relatives, or not going to bring up my family ever again. To which the reporter replied, he apologized. But Joel Embiid didn't buy the apology. And then he explained again, he said that I don't really care what the media thinks about me and this and that. And the reporter replied back and said, you obviously do care about it. And then basically Embiid shoved the guy. You know what I mean? Now, there were reports that were saying that he punched the dude or whatever, but I never believed that. And thankfully, that there were some things that got cleared up that he didn't punch the reporter, because then it would have been really, really, really bad. That would have been a lawsuit waiting to happen. So he didn't punch the reporter. He just shoved him. All right? Now, again, I wanted to say like this. I used to study journalism back in the day when I was in college. And I've had, I've talked with, college athletes back in the day, just asking, questions about their, their performance and how they did in the game and what are some things they can improve upon. But nowhere in my being did I ever took it too far as, are there some things going on at home, this and that? Because that's stuff that I'm not in liberty to ask about it at all. Because there are a lot of athletes. The athletes are human beings, and a lot of times they're going through a lot of stuff, just like me and you are out there in the real world. So we can't just treat these athletes like they're basically robots. And they're basically, a lot of these athletes are sensitive than others. They really get affected by what the media think. And there's a good amount of them that don't care. Like Marshawn Lynch, he don't care what the media thinks about him. So the thing that I didn't like what this reporter did was, you referenced the columnist referenced about his dead family members. I'm going to tell you something. He's lucky that Joel Embiid isn't Ron Artest. And I'm going to explain to you why. Y'all remember when Ron Artest was playing back in the day? That dude was mentally unhinged. All right? You talk anything about this guy, he was going to come after you, and he's going to come after you physically. And the thing that really, really irked me was that when the columnist pretty much said, I think that a lot of this stuff has to do with the fact that his dead family members are making him, play soft or whatever. Now, I'm not going to say, what the columnist said, because I don't have the article in front of me. But my point is that social media and this version of journalism has given the opportunity for people that never played sports, that never dribbled the ball, never thrown the pass, never thrown a baseball, or never even shot a hockey puck in their lives, the opportunity to say some ridiculous nonsense, and then you put it on your column. And people who tend to read those publications, they're going to take what the columnist said in the article, and they're going to regurgitate that, and it's going to create much more drama and much more controversy. You know what I'm saying? So what I didn't like about what this columnist did is that you reference somebody else's family members. If you're going to keep it as basketball-related stuff, fine. No problem. You could talk about how Joel Embiid, in his injury history, or the fact that he hasn't played that many games, and he's going to be games restricted again. That's fair game, because that's obviously public information, and everybody knows about it. No problem. But when you reference to somebody's family and all that, that's where the line gets drawn. And you can't, and you don't, and you're gonna expect the athlete to basically respond back in that manner. All right. Now there are some athletes that are not gonna, get physical with the reporter, because a lot of them have some smarts to know that if they get physical with the reporter, the league is going to come after you. But the bottom line here is that these reporters today, I'm not digging what they're trying to do with these athletes, and I'm not in support of that. And listen, mainstream media has given people who never played sports in their lives opportunities to crap on other athletes when they never done the same thing they've done in their lives, and that's ridiculous. So that's my point on that end. Now, as far as Joel Embiid is concerned, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the Philadelphia 76ers are struggling right now. They haven't had a good start to the season. They're 1-4. They're injury riddled right now. They're not been playing, excellent basketball. And I think a lot of it has to do with frustration. And I think that, for Joel Embiid, I'm not trying to excuse what he did. I'm just trying to give, some context of maybe how he was feeling at the time. But at the same time, listen, bro, there are other ways that you can respond to the reporter, and physical violence is not one of them. You know what I mean? Now, again, Joel never punched his reporter. You understand? He never punched the reporter. Thankfully not. But listen, if they were out there in the street and you heard that kind of rhetoric, you better believe that Joel Embiid would take the liberties of taking that chance. Like I said, he's lucky that it's not Ron Artest or a Derek Coleman or even a Charles Oakley or even a Charles Barkley back in the day that would have no problem putting hands on reporters. All right? Because if you cross the line like that, you asking for trouble. And that columnist is just lucky that Joel Embiid has, a kind-hearted character to himself, that he's not going to cross that barrier. But this is my point. And it also ties into what Jason Kelsey did when that fan, tried to talk crap about his own brother Travis. A lot of people think that just because you have a social media platform and that you have a phone that gives you the right to stand around there and act a damn fool to try to gain, views and try to gain attention for yourself. Like, you're just asking for trouble against an athlete who's basically bigger, stronger than you, and can basically kick your butt in just about 10 seconds. Like, I don't understand the need for people to try to sit around here and go way over the top with these athletes, because, bro, you would never say it to their face in real life, and that's a fact. I still remember the Malice at the Palace when the fan threw the beer cup at Ron Artest, and he learned the hard way. Like, that's the kind of energy that these athletes can be on. If you try to cross the line with them in any way, they will pull up on you, and then you're basically gonna shit your pants. Seriously, you're gonna shit your bridges, and more importantly, you're gonna be scared to death that they're gonna try to punch you in your face. I'm telling you. And don't try to pretend it's like, oh, we got the right to say what we want to say, First Amendment. Listen, sure, you could have the right to say, whatever you want, but there's a line that's drawn in the sand, and it's called hate speech. You don't have the right to say hate speech to anyone under any circumstances. So, I do believe that Joel Embiid is going to serve at least a suspension for it. You know what I'm saying? I know the league is going to probably give him maybe a 2-game suspension, maybe a 1-game, 2-game suspension, something like that. I don't think it's going to cross into like the 5-game, 6-game type of thing, because that'd be too harsh. But I do think that, Joel Embiid just has to be careful about, controlling his emotions. But I do understand where he was coming from, because, bro, at the end of the day, you're a reporter. If you want to talk about somebody's, performance on the court or on the football field or in the baseball diamond or in the hockey rink, you have every right to do so. But keep it there, all right? Don't bring it to family members. Don't bring it to other personal stuff where you're just asking for trouble. And more importantly, there's a lot of people that still read the newspaper, okay? And they're going to read that rhetoric, and they're going to use that as weapons to try to get the athlete out of their own mindset, all right? So you got to be careful about the things you say around here. You understand? So, and also the reporter needs to make sure, if you're going to write something, all right, be as truthful, but watch the words that you use. That's all I have to say about it. So, but that's just my 2 cents on the whole situation, man. I'm sure that this is just pretty much a blimp on the road for Joel Embiid, man. But, I don't got a problem for what he did. Just next time, just try to G-check the reporter by using your words instead of your hands. That's all. So, that's all I got to say about it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And with that, I'm out. Peace.